Okay. Um, Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks, Pooja, for organizing this call in the event. And just before I introduce the panel, I'll just introduce myself. My name is Vishwanath Vish. I'm a chartered accountant and have around 30 plus years of experience in both SMEs and startups. And in both our individual capacity as well as, let's say, in the corporate world, each one of us would have encountered transferring money overseas. International payments is what we call that, right? And that is the main topic of the session today. SICCI has tied up with TorFX. TorFX is into what I would call as the business of international money transfers, right? And we have Stuart Giles and Radhesh Vijayan representing TorFX, and then they would take us through, what TorFX is all about, and then what this alliance between SICCI and TorFX brings to the members, right? But before I get into it, let me just introduce to you Mr. Kishore Daryani, who is the vice chairman of SICCI, as well as he is the board member of SICCI, Singapore Indian Chamber of Commerce, right? And he wears a lot of hats. He's a very experienced businessman. He is also the honorary consul to the Democratic Republic of Congo, and he is the managing director of Ganga Jamuna Electronics. Right? Ganga Jamuna Electronics is, as you all know, is one of the leading import-export business of branded consumer products. Right, so he has more than 40 years of experience, and he's born into a family of businessmen. So we would, lean on Mr. Kishore to and glean a lot from his experience. To see how we all can benefit from this. Mr. Kishore, can I please invite you to start the session, to chair the session and start it? Mr. Kishore, you're on mute.
Okay. Thank you for that introduction, Vish. I think it was a pretty hefty one. Dear members, guests, and panelists, very good afternoon to everyone present. On behalf of the Singapore Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, I welcome you all to the introductory session of International Money Transfers, TorFX. SICCI has collaborated with TorFX, where SICCI clients and members are privy to price beat guarantee on top of the already very competitive rates to help your company save costs on international transfers. Whether you prefer to manage your international payments online using your market-leading service or over the phone with the support of your personal account manager, TorFX will give you the tools and insights you need to move your money at the right time. TorFX have been working with businesses and individuals since 2004. They hold an excellent 5-star trust score on Trustpilot and have been voted International Money Transfer Provider of the Year 6 times, 2016 to 2021. We at SICCI have collaborated with TorFX. SICCI corporate members will get a dedicated account manager who will help you every step over the way to ensure that you have the most competitive rates for your international money transfers. You'll have the choice of arranging your transfers over the phone with your account manager or sending money overseas 24/7 via their app or online. The minimum transfer amount is Singapore $150. There's no maximum amount. But since SICCI members have received a personalized card to avail this offer, we invite all SICCI members and friends to avail of these services. Thank you. Now I thank you. I want to Mr. Vish.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Kishore. Let me just introduce to you the speakers today. both from TorFX. We have Mr. Radesh Vijayan. He is the CEO of TorFX, and he has been what I would call as a veteran in the financial sector, mainly in the world of foreign exchange. Right, he's covered commercial banking, wealth management, corporate trust and fund advisory roles, with more focus on SME markets in Singapore and the larger markets of South Asia. Welcome, Mr. Vijayan. Radesh, we welcome you to this session. Um, Let me also introduce you to Mr. Stuart Giles. He is the head of business development or FX Asia Pacific, and he is based in Australia. He is also a veteran of over 25 years with experience in wealth and investment management, consumer finance, especially foreign exchange, right? And he has worked in various areas of business development, stakeholder engagement, partnership, relationship management, and also operations. Um, I would now request Mr. Vijayan to take over the reins and then take us through what we have in store today. Thank you, Radesh.
Thank you, Bish. Thanks, Mr. Kishore. Good afternoon, everyone. Hope everyone is well, and thank you for taking the time out to join us on this webinar. I also want to do a special thanks to Mr. Johnson, CEO of SICCI, as well as Pooja for setting up this webinar, and my good friend JK Sarah for introducing SICCI to TorFX as well. Yeah. So TorFX is actually very happy to be partnering up with SICCI to help their corporate members as well as the individual members with their foreign exchange requirements. We expect to help defray some of these costs during these challenging times now that we face, right? So with further ado, let me just share my screen so we can get the presentation going. Give me one sec.
While this is happening, I request everyone to make this a very interactive session because we'll learn from each other and it will benefit everyone. Thank you.
So I'll get started with our company overview, as well as our regulatory information. And my colleague Stuart will speak more on our services and how we can assist both corporate and personal clients. Now, kindly allow us to answer any queries that you may have at the end of the presentation during the Q&A session, please. So TorFX was actually established in the UK in 2004, and we have always worked very closely with corporate clients and individual clients. We understand that international payments can be quite confusing at times, so we seek to provide our clients with excellent rates, no fees, and exceptional customer service. We are quite proud to have been awarded the International Money Transfer Award Provider of the Year for the last 6 years, earning, as Mr. Kishore has mentioned earlier. And also we've also been awarded the Best Customer Service for 5 years as well at the Independent Consumer Money Facts Awards. Now, TorFX is part of a group which has been engaged in processing over 13 billion in international payments each year. And now we have grown to over 325,000 corporate and personal clients globally. We have over 20 offices around the world, and we can assist you in executing transfers in more than 40 currencies to over 120 countries. Each of our corporate and personal clients have a dedicated account manager assigned to them once they open the account with us, and have the option of doing their transfers over the phone with the account manager as well as online. Now, our trading name under MAS and ACRA is Currencies Direct Private Limited. Our brand is TorFX. We are regulated by MAS under the Payment Services Act of 2019 to carry on the remittance business. and we hold the highest level of creditworthiness with Dun & Bradstreet level 1. So I hope I have shed some light on TorFX right now, and I shall hand it over to my colleague Stuart to share a bit more on our products and services. Stuart, over to you.
Thank you, Radesh. And first off, I'd like to say a special thank you to Vish and Mr. Kishore for giving us the opportunity to present to the wider SICCI group. As Radesh has indicated, the focus of what we do, TorFX, where Rad sort of alluded to it at the front end, but we're a leading and internationally accredited FX provider. The whole purpose of what we do within our business for our clients, it's about providing our corporate clients as well as our private clients with better exchange rates. By achieving that, we're able to help our clients maximize the values of their foreign exchange transactions. That's globally. One of our biggest point of differentiators within our business as compared to other operators in the market is we're one of the very few firms globally that still maintains a traditional, what we call high touch personal service. And both Mr. Kishore and Radesh have touched on the point. When we open an account for a client, regardless of their size, they are assigned their own dedicated account manager. And where that really pays, has significant benefit, you will have your account manager's direct phone line and their email address, so you can contact them directly. Insofar as the service that we provide, it's fast, it's safe, and it's secure. Now, businesses that may have been using their banks, some of the banks will try and scaremonger businesses or people into the area of saying, well, look, how secure is your money with these other providers? Your money is as secure with us as it is with a bank. We use the same transfer banking platform system that all of the major international financial institutions use. So your DBS, HSBC, JP Morgan, they all use, or the majority of them use, the SWIFT banking system, and we use exactly the same system. So what that just means is that from beginning to end, in terms of the money transfer process, there is a digital footprint of your funds all the way through. One of the other areas there where we add significant benefit in having your own dedicated account manager is that they will work closely with you in providing you market insight and guidance. So it's part of their role in working, particularly with our corporate clients, is helping them understand some of the events that are occurring in the market so they can make you aware of opportunity as well as risk in the market. So it's really important that we are proactive in what we do, because at the end of the day, it's about safeguarding your funds and ensuring that you achieve the maximum value from your FX transactions. So this screen, or this slide that's currently showing, with our business clients, we can help them with a range of different foreign exchange transactions. So I won't run through all of those, but some of the more common are paying or receiving funds from overseas suppliers, for the payment of goods and materials, the acquisition of assets, plant, equipment and machinery, as well as in the areas of property, so both residential and commercial. So there's effectively no industry that we can't assist. So whether you're in manufacturing, in agriculture, in finance, our FX solutions can certainly help. Radesh, if you can just go to the next slide, please. Outside of our corporate offering, for SICCI members, I know the majority are corporate clients, but we can also assist you with your own personal requirements, and we can do that for family and friends as well. So the offering that we have, both from a private and corporate, it's the same process, albeit two separate accounts. And you can transact, as Mr. Kishore has indicated earlier, you can do that over the phone with your dedicated account manager, online, or through your mobile app. With personal customers, we can provide, again, assistance in a range of areas for people that are buying and selling property from overseas, moving their pensions overseas, as one of the items there, purchasing of luxury items. During COVID, with people not being able to travel, we've certainly seen quite a significant spike in people, spending or moving their funds overseas for the acquisition of, I suppose, some of the finer things, cars, boats, and planes, amongst some other items of luxury, goods, so as jewellery, but also for the more common things of, with their children overseas, paying for overseas educational institutional fees. So look, we can cover off on a lot of those. When it comes to the corporate offering that we provide, the areas where we add greatest value is helping the corporate clients manage their foreign exchange exposure as well as their currency risk. And it's really about, as I said, ensuring that we can help you maximize your profit margins, whilst at the same time shielding you against market volatility or currency volatility. So at the end of the day, for our corporate clients, it's really about helping them reduce or cut their operational costs that are associated with foreign exchange. Brad, if you jump to the next slide. So just in summary, look, where we are adding significant benefit is certainly through our competitive exchange rates. As Radesh has touched on, our services provided through to our clients free of any fees. As I said, we use the SWIFT banking system, which is one of the most secure banking platforms in the world. Traditionally, as I said, the account manager, we've spoken about that. And where we add other value is in terms of, we're one of the very few firms that are very proactive in working with our clients. So we're not an organization that will sit and wait until you make contact with us. If we feel that there is something happening in the market and your account manager understands that it might be a currency pairing that your business utilizes quite regularly, they will be in touch with you to make you aware of what is happening in the market, to ensure that you're either taking opportunity for that if you can, or you're safeguarding yourself against risk. Brad, just the next slide, please. So as part of the SICCI and TourFX partnership, when a corporate client comes through to us through the SICCI program, we will endeavour to onboard that client. And onboarding a corporate account generally takes 1 to 2 business days. As we've already alluded to, you can transact online, over the phone, or via email. Online, you can book transfers yourself 24/7 up to $200,000 or Sing dollars at a time. And the other benefits that we have within our offering of FX is clients will have the ability where they can hold multiple currency wallets, which means that you may be paying or receiving funds from overseas suppliers or other parties in multiple currency denominations. So from a corporate client as well as private clients, you can hold multiple currency wallets. So you might be holding Sing, Hong Kong dollars, pound sterling, US dollars. It's unlimited in terms of the number of currency wallets you can hold. The other important thing to be aware of is also within that framework, the funds that we hold on your behalf are held in segregated client accounts. So that means your funds that we're holding on your behalf are held completely separate from our operational accounts. So in no way are we able to use those funds or move those funds for any other purpose unless specifically instructed by yourself. Rad, if you can just jump to the next one. So look, in summary, the service that we provide, it's about helping you streamline your foreign exchange process, but more importantly, as I said, helping you to achieve better exchange rates and enhancing the value of your transactions. As this slide indicates, over 97% of our customers worldwide would recommend our service, and that's been done through an independent survey. And as Radesh has already indicated, our service has been recognised globally. As he said, for the last 6 years, we've been voted the #1 international money service provider. And really that's come down to two things. One, the exchange rates that we can provide, but more importantly as well, about the added value that we can offer through having a dedicated account manager. The one thing that I would say just to finish off is for those SICCI members that have not received their individual or collaborative co-branded membership card, I'd strongly recommend you to reach out to Radesh or the team at SICCI just to let them know so we can follow that through and ensure that you are provided with your individual unique SICCI membership card, just to ensure that you do have access through to our preferential rates. Look, in conclusion, I'd just like to say thank you very much for the opportunity to present, and I'll hand it back to the floor. Thank you.
Thanks, Stuart. Thanks, Radesh. While we collate the questions that the members have or the participants have asked, if you can just throw some light. See, there has been a lot of what I would call as enhancement in the forex, what I would call as transfer international payments over a number of years, right? So, how does, let's say, TorFX compare to a bank, right? So, yeah, you've touched on saying that it would be better than bank rates and all of those, but generally, how does when you compare a bank to a TorFX, what would be the main differences that you have, or main advantages that TorFX gets?
Sure, Rad, would you like me to respond? Okay, so
Sure.
against the banks, we're a lot more flexible and nimble than the banks. As I said at the very front end, when we onboard a corporate client, there's very limited information that we require in setting up a corporate account. We don't require any past financials. Some banks will require 2 to 5 years worth of financial records just to purvey the trading history of a company. We don't. We have a number of background checks in place just to check the authenticity and to ensure that we satisfy the regulators' requirements. In terms of the bank rates, our whole focus of what we do is foreign exchange. We don't provide any other form of service, for instance, fixed interest or term deposits. The business that we operate in is foreign exchange. Therefore, we need to be very sharp in the rates that we provide. And as Murad has indicated, because of the number of transactions that we transact on an annual basis, the buying power that we have off the financial markets, we can get it at a, I suppose, what you would call a wholesale rate, and we pass those benefits on to our clients. So again, the banks make their money from from several different verticals within their, I suppose, offerings to clients. We don't. Ours is purely FX, and that's why we are so focused on what we do.
And you said you're in 20 countries. You have offices in 20 countries, is it?
Yes, through our combined group, through the parent company. So within TorFX, our major hubs are out of the UK, Singapore, and Australia. And the way in which we're set up, we call that following the sun. So as one market closes, another one opens. So we can be across pretty much all of the markets 24/7.
But you'd be able to transfer funds from, let's say, any country to any country, literally.
Correct. Yeah, that's correct. Obviously, around the world with the regulators, there are some countries that what they would class as being on sanctions list. So ourselves and others, obviously cannot facilitate money in and out of some of those countries, but the majority we can, and we can let the clients know at the front end.
Sure. There's one question from one of the participants. I'll just read it out for you. To either Stuart or Radesh, one of you can answer that. For purchasing of UK properties, right? For purchasing of UK properties, what loans are available and what is the interest rate for these loans? Any collateral required?
So I'll take that too. Yeah.
Sure.
We don't, I mean, there are loans available for sure.
Right.
Right now, we don't provide loans. We only do the FX payments. If let's say you buy a UK property and then you need to make a 10 or 30% down payment for your first payment, we can help with the conversion of Sing dollar to sterling conversion and help you save money there. We don't give out loans, although we do work with some mortgage brokers who we can recommend to you. If you come to us, we can just easily recommend them to you. Just let us know. For now, just to answer the question that the participant has asked, from what we understand, that the rates can go up to about 4.5% to 4.8% at the moment for UK loans. And as of now, the lenders in the UK are taking quite a fair bit of time to grant each loan. Collateral is not required. It is based on the property that you have purchased, as well as the amount of money your own credit worthiness, right? So I hope I've answered that question.
Sure. Thank you. There's one more in terms of, let's say, just adding on to this, is let's say if someone wants to transfer money from India to Singapore, personal account, right? There are certain rules and regulations that RBI has prescribed, right? So would you, let's say, help in those, or similar to, let's say, the UK property market, all those will be needed to taken care of? Or what do you check in terms of, let's say, remitting money from India to Singapore, if it's a personal account?
Can you repeat the question again, Vish? Sorry.
I'm saying when you need to remit money from a personal account from, let's say, India to Singapore, right? There are certain rules that RBI has prescribed, right? It has to follow certain, let's say, reasons, which are, they've mentioned a few reasons, right? So when you remit, right, you would help in getting all this sorted out, or you would be checking all of those, or after all this is done, then TorFX takes over and gives some very good rates to remit the money to Singapore. How does that work?
So I'll answer in two parts.
Right.
First of all, the Indian rupee is actually one of those currencies where we cannot send money from India in Indian rupee only to any other country, right? Because of those things.
Right.
So that is why we don't facilitate the INR to other currencies. However, if you are based in India, or you have money in India, US dollars or Sing dollars or sterling or whatever in an Indian account, and you want to convert that to any other currency, yes, you can use us, even though the funds are sitting in India, right? So that is the first thing. Second thing is that if you are sitting, let's say in another country is China, that has these kind of requirements that, 50,000 maximum USD that can be transferred out for both businesses and personal users. So they have to get their permissions on their own. Normally their CA or their law firm or their business accountants will help them to get those regulations and approvals required. And normally if they're businesses, they already have the allowances from the government to actually transfer more than 50,000 already. So on our side, we will not really check that. We have a CNY account. So they will transfer their CNY to us and we will send it to the beneficiary account. There's no problem. But those checkings, they will have to get their own permissions to do it.
Sure. Okay. Thank you. There's one more question on wallets. You spoke about different currency wallets, right? So how does that work? And let's say I have a Sing dollar, US dollar, and let's say euro in Singapore, 3 wallets. Can I move currency from one to another to take care of the foreign exchange fluctuations, or to make money out of it? How does that work?
Yes, you're able to. So did you say Sing dollar, US dollar, and
let's say euro?
And euro. So
yeah.
I suppose, let's say right now, people are taking money out of euro putting my money into the US dollar as a safe haven currency as of today because of the new variant. So the markets have moved that way.
Right.
So if you were to do that, you would send your funds from your euro to our euro wallet, our euro bank account, client account in Singapore. We would then send the corresponding US dollar amount to your US wallet with TorFX.
Yeah. Sorry, just give me 1 minute. There are a few other questions come up. Just give me 1 minute. I'll just get up.
I can see another question from Ganapati.
Yeah.
Arunachalam.
There's one on, yeah. So from Mr. Tushar Doshi on what is the time frame for execution for a transaction?
For most countries, it will be a T+1.
T+1, right. Okay. Mr. Ganapati has asked the question, is there any limit for local companies to transfer money to India, sole proprietor company, to pay for the services rendered?
No. So you can transfer any amount of, I believe, of Indian rupee from Singapore to India to the Indian account. There's
Right.
no limit.
As long as it is supported by invoice or documents.
Yes, of course.
Right. Right. Mr. Geraldine Co has asked one question of how do TorFX help us to manage our foreign currency balance to benefit from exchange rate fluctuations?
I think this has more to do with the account manager. Stu, can you handle this one?
Yeah, certainly I can provide some insight. Vish, as an example, a lot of corporates that we deal with pay overseas suppliers, and I suppose the most common currency tends to be US dollars. Right. So as I said, if we see there's a shift in the market, and let's say this thing works favorably where Singapore clients could buy some US dollars at a favorable rate, yet they don't need to pay suppliers for another 1 month or 3 months or 6 months. Effectively, what we can do, or the account manager will do, is ring their client and let them know that the rate has moved favorably in their way. We're in towards where they can buy some US dollars at a good rate. So that corporate client can buy the US dollars, have those US dollars sit in their US dollar wallet until such time that they need to pay their suppliers, whether it be, as I said, 1 month, 3 months, or 6 months. The other thing that we can do is, if there's a particular rate that a corporate client is looking to achieve, so if they're looking to send some funds across to Europe in euros to pay a supplier, and there is a rate that they're targeting, what the account manager can do is can set up rate alerts on the system. So as the rate gets closer to that desired exchange rate figure, it will send off an alert to both the client as well as to the account manager to inform them that the rates are getting close. And that's when the account manager will start monitoring the market for that corporate client more closely, so they can action it when the rate hits the desired level. So that's the beauty of having the account manager, where they are very proactive in understanding their clients' requirements and timeframes. But a lot of the corporates do take advantage of that, where if they see the rate move in their favor, if they're wanting to buy pounds sterling or euro or US dollars, they will buy some of those currency at the prevailing rate because it's at such a good level, and they will have those funds just sit in their currency wallet until such time that they need to use them to pay suppliers or elsewhere.
Right. Perfect. There's one follow-up question from Mr. Ganapati, wherein you had talked about transferring of money from Singapore to a sole proprietor in India. Is local companies, do they have to obtain any authority approval for such transfer, like monthly payment from Singapore
to India?
Yeah.
Not as as far as I know, from Singapore to India, so far all our clients have just sent funds as long as we have some documentary proof that there's an invoice or there's some requirement and there's some paper documents to show that there is a payment or an amount due. There isn't any particular, any other permission required.
Right. There's one more question from a SICCI member, Mr. Varaprasad, is how does TorFX support to receive investments into Singapore through SWIFT's GPI mode from Europe to Singapore?
So can I just clarify, Dr. Varaprasad, can I just check whether you mean, when you say investments, do you mean just a payment into Singapore? Is that what you mean?
Yes.
So from Europe to Singapore, right? So because as Stuart has mentioned earlier, we use the bank's rail systems. So imagine that we are, so the bank systems is SWIFT, right? So
Yes.
You're saying that the money comes from Europe. So your Europe currency will be sent to us, to our Europe account, TorFX Europe account for clients in Singapore. But that is using the bank's SWIFT system. It is exactly on the same bank. The way you would send money, let's say to DBS account, you will be using the same rail system, but you'll be sending it to our account.
Yes.
And then you would already have your beneficiary account set up with your account manager. Once it hits our account, we would then send the corresponding Sing dollar amount or US dollar amount, whichever it is, into your beneficiary account using the same bank rail system again.
Right. Fine. I got the answer. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, and if I can just add to that, a lot of clients that we work with, you send money all over the world for a variety of different investment purposes. So whether that be in stocks or equities, property, both residential and commercial, pension funds, we can facilitate those transfers both in and out of Singapore for those purposes. And generally they will be supported by whether it be an investment agreement document or some sort of supporting document to support that investment. So yeah, look, we can move them both in and out of Singapore for any reason.
Thank you. There's one more on terms of Geraldine is asking whether all Forex transfers enjoy nil fees.
Yes. So all foreign exchange transfers, we don't charge any fees.
Right.
At all. There's no admin fee, there's no transfer fees.
I will probably link it to one more question that has come up in terms of, let's say there's zero fees, then how does TorFX stay afloat if it doesn't charge any service fees, right? Does that mean that there is a compromise on the exchange rate?
Compromise on the exchange rate?
No, look, we're very transparent in how we make our money, purely because of the volume that we transfer annually and daily.
Right.
When we buy the currency, we buy it in tranches off the market. So we get it at a slightly discounted wholesale rate, and then we pass that on at the consumer rate. So that narrow margin between where we buy the currency to where we sell the currency, that's where we make our profit. So yeah, that's very simple, very straightforward. And it's purely off the back of, because of the volumes that we're doing, that we can make profit off that.
And if I can just clarify a bit further, so we probably make a smaller profit. So we choose to make a smaller profit and hand the benefit of the lower prices, the bulk purchases that we make, that we buy, hand it over to the client. So we do make a profit, And
Right.
other firms will make a profit as well, but we make a smaller profit and we hand the other benefit over to the client to make more savings as well, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And look, our focus is on longevity. So it's about building strong commercial relationships and private relationships that last over many years. So yes, we
Right.
do facilitate transactions, but it's more about long-term relationships for our business.
Sure. Pooja, are there any more questions on the chat box or on any other?
One more question. Is local companies have to obtain any authority approval for such transfers?
That has been answered.
Yeah, so
we
I
did
don't
take
think
it
so
with
there's
the
any more.
remittance to India.
Yeah, so there was one question which maybe Geraldine was asking that do we need to be a SICCI member? So I just want to answer that question is that you don't need to be a SICCI member to onboard TORFX services. You can just quote SICCI while calling them or while filling up the form. So you can enjoy the preferential rates. Thank you.
Right. So is there any other question? You can quickly either type it on the Q&A or chat box.
There's no any question I can see now. Maybe Mr. Radesh, if you have any like FAQs which you want to just discuss over, which you seems people are asking you. So yeah.
I think some of the questions have been answered by Stu. Most of the questions were always, how do we compare to the banks? If we are not making fees, if we're not charging fees, how do we, how good are our rates? You know, and what are some of the currencies that we do? So maybe I can just talk about the most important thing is, you know, the rates that we offer. So the markets always fluctuate about 86,000 times per day. So it is important that you, as a business, you try to manage your risk as much as you can. So the special service that we have that really sets us apart is the account management service. You know, feel free and don't be shy to make use of your account manager for their knowledge because they have extensive knowledge on the currency pairings, right? So they'll be able to answer questions on, you know, the outlook for certain currency pairings for your business. Now, if they really understand your business and if you can get that relationship with the account manager, let's say the account manager knows that you are dealing with maybe the euro and the Sing dollar. And if he knows or if he feels that the euro might be in danger of weakening against the Sing dollar, he might give you a call, or he would give you a call or drop you an email to let you know that this might be the current market outlook and whether you guys may want to do something about it and maybe exchange a bit more to kind of hedge your risks. Now, this can actually help the business in that sense, right? And I think the other thing I would want to mention is that it's very important for all of us who have been, we have actually sent, I think Mr. Kishore has mentioned this earlier, that we have sent out a package for all the corporate clients that we have, that SICCI has, clients and members as well, corporate clients. We have sent them out a package with a membership card. It's a co-brand membership card of SICCI and TORFX, and it has your company name there. Now, if you have not received this package, please get in touch with either SICCI or myself or Stuart and let us know so that we can actually rectify this issue and get in touch with you and, you know, get you on the program itself. I think that's about it.
I would like to add here that if there's an alternative as well, that you can register via the form, which I just flashed out in the chat box. So if you register on that form, the account manager will get in touch with you as soon as possible as well. Thank you.
So if anyone has any queries right now, Mr. Radesh, so who do they contact?
So they contact
before they open an account. Yeah.
So they can contact us. You can contact the hotline number 69298170, right? And or they can just contact SICCI and or Pooja or myself and let us know, and we'll get an account manager to get in touch.
Perfect. Pooja, any other questions that we have left unanswered?
No, not from my side now. Nothing, and the question answers box as well. Yeah.
Great.
Sorry, the number, Pooja, is 69298170.
Oh, okay. I'll rectify it.
69298170.
And I wanted to also bring, just to highlight one other fact, is that TorFX Singapore was set up in 2019. So TorFX Australia is where our account managers sit. So, you know, they help us operationally as well. They're very good at what they do. They work Singapore hours 9 to 5 p.m. So your account manager will definitely have an Australian slang. So it is not a scam call. It is actually TorFX, it's genuine. And if you have any doubts at all, give TorFX a call or myself a call. Or can even mention this to Pooja and SICCI as well, and SICCI will get in touch with us if you are unsure.
Rajesh, there's one more question coming up. They say that I still do not have a feel of how much money I can save using TorFX. For example, $100, $100,000, $1 million. What are the typical savings we can enjoy by using TorFX instead of the bank?
Stu, I'll let you handle this.
Yeah. Look, I'm happy to answer that. So typically within the Asia Pacific region, against the banks that operate there, our rates are generally between 0.3 and 1% better. For corporate clients, what I would always encourage, depending on who the business or who you may be using currently, we can quite definitively provide you with an accurate assessment. So what we've done for other clients previously, if they're using another provider, they can provide us with the details of one of their more recent FX transactions. The key things to remember there is we just need to know the date, specifically the time that it was booked, and the value of the transfer. And we can quite easily go back historically and let you know what our rate would have been at that same time on that same day. Again, the beauty with our service, you're not obliged. So opening an account is free. There's no cost to have an account opened or sit there until such time that you may decide to use that. So we can quite easily do a comparison at a particular time. So for instance, if you've got an account with us and you're looking to transact, and let's say you're with DBS or HSBC or another non-bank provider, we can sort of do a side-by-side comparison in terms of our rate. So again, it's completely free and there's no obligation. But generally, to give you a guide, against the banks, it's generally between 0.3 to 1% better. And depending on the volume of the transfer, that can equate to, from $100 or a couple of $100, but for larger transactions, it can be in the thousands. So I hope that provides a little bit of clarity.
Thanks, Stuart. Thanks, Rajesh. That was a very insightful session. Can I request Mr. Kishore to do the closing remarks, please?
Sorry, I think there was one more question from
Geraldine
K. Yeah.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
So maybe I'll just answer that, Geraldine. So there is no minimum balance to keep in TorFX. There's no fall below minimum fees as well.
Thanks, Rajesh.
We don't require any security at all to have an account open either.
Hope that answers, Geraldine.
Thanks. Over to you, Mr. Kishore. Oh, sorry. There's one more. Sorry about that. Sorry, Mr. Kishore, just 1 minute. For amounts, this is from Mr. Tushar Doshi. For amounts deposited in the account, right? Is there any interest accrued?
Unfortunately, not. So like I said, we don't really need the client to put deposits in the amount or in our accounts or in the client's currency wallets when they want to do a transfer. Normally, when they want to do a transfer, they book the rate and then only they put the funds in, and the funds come to us and we send the corresponding currency to their beneficiary accounts. So, and unfortunately, there isn't a requirement for that funds to be deposited in the account, even if they want to. We unfortunately are not a bank, so we cannot give any interest to the clients.
Radesh, a follow-up question on that. Let's say if the recipient also is a TorFX member, right?
Yeah.
Is it faster to send money from a member to member vis-a-vis a member to a non-member?
TorFX, it could be a TorFX client in Australia or a TorFX in Europe or a
Right.
TorFX in the US or something. So I don't think it really makes that much of a difference. If it's in Singapore, it would make a difference, because then it would be same currency transfer within Singapore, right? In bank to bank within Singapore. So that is normally done almost instantly.
Right. So it doesn't get credited to his TorFX account, it goes to his bank account.
So it normally you would, I'll explain the flow again.
Right.
So let's say Stuart is my beneficiary account and I want to send him some funds in Australia, right?
Yeah.
I would book a trade with my account manager.
Right.
Once the trade is booked, I would send my Sing dollars to the TorFX client Sing dollar account, right?
Right.
It is kept there, and we would send the corresponding Aussie dollars to Stuart's account, who is the beneficiary account. Right?
When you say account, it's the bank account.
His bank account, yes.
Right.
So because he doesn't necessarily need to be a TorFX client, you see.
Right.
So if he wasn't a TorFX client, it would just be sent to his account. If he was a TorFX client, we can probably send it to his wallet if he wanted.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Pooja, any other questions that we have to the participants? Any questions?
No.
Before we hand it over to Mr. Kishore?
No.
Okay, thank you very much. So, Mr. Kishore, I'll hand it over to you now for the closing remarks, please.
Thank you, Vish. We have finally come to the end of the session. Thank you, Mr. Stewart and Mr. Radesh, for giving us such valuable information, benefiting all SICCI clients, members to do their FX transfers. I would like also to inform everybody that if you have any more queries, please email to pooja@sicci.com. She will reply to all your emails. And I hope everybody here attending here, thank you for very much attending, and also hope you benefit from all the different exchange rates you'll achieve from this session. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Very much.
Thank you. Stay safe.
Thank you, Radesh. Thank you.
Thank you
Vish.
for the
Thank you, Mr.
opportunity.
Kishore.
Thank you, Mr.
Have a good
Kishore.
week.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Mr. Kishore. Thanks, Vish.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
Vish.
everyone.
Bye.
Hope everyone gets benefits.
I'm sure.
Thank you.
Mr. Kishore, I'll give you a call regarding that 2 clients just now.
Yeah, please give me a call. Also, I would like to open an account with you and probably do some,
Okay.
some trades.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. I'll give you a call now.
Sure. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
And I'll give it. Thank you.